Precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulbin Samarasinghe and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The quarantine curfew will be lifted tomorrow. Further information will be given today following a discussion with relevant officials. $50 million have been released to two state banks to be issued to importers of essential food items. Around 31 million COVID vaccines have been received so far, and around 54% of the population given 2 doses. Permits to transport sand, gravel and granite will be issued online. The government plans to reduce food waste by 50% in 2030. In foreign news, Fumio Kishida wins race to become Japan's next Prime Minister. Sports. Indian Premier League, Royal Challengers Bangalore records a 7-wicket win over Rajasthan Royals. Local news in detail. The government has decided to lift the quarantine curfew, which is currently in effect across the island, tomorrow. Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said President Gotabaya Rajapaksa instructed to lift the island-wide quarantine curfew at 4 a.m. tomorrow. He said that further information will be given today following a discussion to be held with top officials of the National COVID Control Committee. The Director General of Health Services will announce in due course the restrictions that will be implemented after the lifting of the curfew and the guidelines to be followed. The quarantine curfew was imposed on the island from 10 p.m. on the 20th of August. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa instructed yesterday the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Nivard Cabral, to provide relief as far as possible to curb the current import restrictions on non-essential items and equipment. The PM issued these instructions taking into consideration the inconvenience caused to the business and general public as a result of the import restrictions imposed on certain non-essential items and equipment. Accordingly, Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Nivard Cabral, said $50 million have already been released to 2 state banks to be issued to the relevant importers. The central bank is scheduled to present further remedial measures shortly. Chief of Prevention of Disease Unit Specialist Dr. Samita Ginige says around 31 million COVID vaccines have been received so far. The country has seen around 54% of the population receiving both doses of the vaccine. Sri Lanka has been one of the leading countries which have successfully vaccinated country's elder population. The process is continuing without any interruption. Dr. Ginige requests the youth to get the vaccine without any hesitation, without being misled by false rumors. The Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry said the daily count of 941 more people were tested positive for the virus yesterday. This brings the tally of coronavirus infections confirmed in the country to 516,465. Accordingly, the Epidemiology Unit data shows 46,761 active cases are currently under medical care. Total recoveries from the virus infection reached 456,857 yesterday, as 770 more patients were discharged from medical care upon returning to health. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka registered 61 new COVID-related fatalities confirmed by the Director General of Health Services on the 28th of September. The new fatalities pushed the official death toll to 12,847. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. Continuing with more local stories. The Geological Survey and Mines Bureau has decided to issue permits to transport sand, gravel and granite online. Director General of the Bureau, Sajjana De Silva, says that the service is available for people from today. Around 2,000 persons attend to the Bureau and its branches to apply for such permits daily. This online system will minimize hassle of them in obtaining relevant services. Minister Udaya Gamambila says that there is no fuel shortage in the country. He said that although the opposition spread false news on a fuel shortage for 3 months, there was no fuel shortage during the past 3 months. Minister Gamambila said that there will not be a fuel shortage in the future as well. The Cabinet of Ministers at its weekly meeting this week has approved the appropriation bill for the financial year 2022 and to submit the bill to the Parliament. Approval was granted for drafting the appropriation bill for the financial year of 2022 at the meeting of the Cabinet Ministers held on the 26th of July 2021. Accordingly, clearance of the Attorney General has been received for the draft bill prepared by the legal draftsman. The Cabinet of Ministers granted approval to the resolution furnished by the Minister of Finance to publish the draft bill in the Gazette notification and table the bill in the Parliament. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Minister Mahinda Amaravira says around 5,000 metric tons of food has been wasted daily in Sri Lanka. This is a serious issue. According to the FAO, it is reported that 1/3 of food produced has been wasted in the world. This information was revealed at a meeting held at Environmental Ministry yesterday. The government plans to reduce food waste by 50% in 2030, the minister added.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Live.
The Ministry of Education says the government plans to reopen schools in 4 stages. The vaccination process for teachers and school staff has been almost complete. Meanwhile, Deputy Director General of Health Services Dr. Hemanta Herath says it is advisable to open schools with less than 200 students when opening schools in the first phase. He said more attention should be given to schools with less facilities when opening them. Dr. Herath said that the Health Ministry has paid its attention on nutrition programs of children.
World News.
On World News headlines, Fumio Kishida wins race to become Japan's next Prime Minister. Defense officials say US Taliban deal hastened Afghan collapse. US declares 23 bird, fish and other species extinct. World News in detail. Fumio Kishida has won a race to lead Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party, putting him on course to become the next Prime Minister. Mr. Kishida will succeed Yoshihide Suga, who decided to step down after just 1 year in office. His first mission as Prime Minister will be to lead the LDP to victory in an upcoming general election. The party's popularity fell after it pushed to host the Tokyo Olympics despite public opposition. Top U.S. defense officials have said the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan can be traced back to a deal between the group and the Trump administration. The so-called Doha Agreement was signed in February 2020 and set a date for the U.S. to withdraw its troops. General Frank McKenzie said the deal had a really pernicious effect on the Afghan government and military. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin agreed, saying the agreement had helped the Taliban get stronger. Finally, on world news, the ivory-billed woodpecker is among 23 species declared extinct by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The service has proposed removing them from the Endangered Species Act, which protects species under threat. In all, 11 birds, 1 bat, 2 fish, 1 plant, and 8 types of mussel have been declared extinct. The FWS said it had made the determination based on rigorous reviews of the best available science for each of these species. That's on world news. Moving on to development news. 227 rural roads in very remote areas will be developed. State Minister Roshan Ranasinghe says that a sum of 225 million rupees has been allocated for this project. This will help farming families to bring their agri-produce to towns and market areas without difficulties.
Sports news.
And on sports news, Australia's Glenn Maxwell powered an unbeaten 50 as Royal Challengers Bangalore took a huge step towards the Indian Premier League playoffs with a 7-wicket win over Rajasthan Royals. He shared 69 with Srikhar Bharat for the 3rd wicket before blasting 22 off Chris Morris to take the scores level. A.B. de Villiers hit the winning run to wrap up the win with 17 balls to spare. Earlier, Rajasthan slipped from 77 for 0 after 8.1 overs to 149 for 9 from their 20 overs, with Evan Lewis making 58. Royal Challengers Bangalore is now in the 3rd place of IPL scoring table. Sunrisers Hyderabad will meet Chennai Super Kings at another encounter in Sharjah today.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka has sold 16.8 billion rupees in 2023 and 2030 bonds after offering 20 billion rupees, allowing yields to go up, potentially drawing more funds to bonds, and a tap has been opened for post-auction bids. Sri Lanka is in the midst of an economic crisis and is heading for social unrest after the central bank suppressed interest rates, price controls, printed the biggest volumes of money in the country's history, and created the worst balance of payments crisis.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Colombo Municipal Council, under whose purview exist the most expensive lands in the country, has urged residents to register over 67,000 assets in a bid to increase CMC revenue through taxes and registration fees, sources said. The move comes as the government is in the process of identifying some lands to lease to foreign investors on a long-term lease with the aim to raise foreign exchange. This was an idea formulated by the CMC Commissioner to generate income from unregistered properties.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather report. The Met Department says that there will be a possibility to develop a low-level atmospheric disturbance in the southeast of Sri Lanka. Therefore, general public is kindly requested to be attentive in future weather forecasts. Several spells of showers will occur in western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere in the evening or night. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in north central, eastern and over provinces and in Hambantota district. Heading back to the headlines. The quarantine curfew will be lifted tomorrow. Further information will be given today following a discussion with relevant officials. $50 million have been released to 2 state banks to be issued to importers of essential food items. Around 31 million COVID vaccines have been received so far, and around 54% of the population have been given both doses. Permits to transport sand, gravel and granite will be issued online. The government plans to reduce food waste by 50% in 2030. In foreign news, Fumio Kishida wins race to become Japan's next Prime Minister. Sports, Indian Premier League, Royal Challengers Bangalore records a 7-wicket win over Rajasthan Royals. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news.